Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to Paranormal Axetivities with your host, Ben Axe. We are here. We are right in the middle of the 2020 Halloween season, which is not nearly as scary as all of 2020 has been. But we're moving forward. I'm excited. I just wrote a new Halloween movie Michael Myers article over at alleverythingentertainment.com. Go there and check that out. Also follow me on Facebook and Twitter. You'll find the links there also. And here in just a few minutes, we have the president of alleverythingentertainment.com, the president himself, Mr. Tim King, will be joining us here to talk about some paranormal incidences he's had in his new home that he just moved into a few weeks ago. But before all of that, I would like to introduce you guys to this week's sponsor, as today's episode is brought to you by restaurant.com. With restaurant.com, you can save at thousands of restaurants across the country in just a few clicks. Their dining deals range from $5 to $100, and they never expire and cost you a fraction of the face value. Dinner has never been easier with Restaurant.com. Used for dine-in, takeout, or delivery. Restaurant.com is offering our listeners 50% off their next business by going to www.restaurant.com/podcast. That's www.restaurant.com/podcast for 50% off all of your next purchase. Restaurant.com is the best deal every meal. Yeah, so guys, be sure to go check out www.restaurant.com/podcast and get that 50% off of your next purchase. It's going to be a great deal. All right, guys. So I don't have a paranormal activity this week, as honestly, since October's hit, there hasn't been a whole lot going on ghost-wise. Like, it's kind of weird, actually. Like, we had a lot of activity for a long time. Even when it wasn't a lot, it was still, weekly or at least bi-weekly, but I don't even know. I've had nothing happen in here, guys. So, because of that fact, I do have something else to talk about here real quick before we bring Tim on for his paranormal stories here. It's kind of interesting. I posted on my Facebook page. It's regarding like a Mothman, or I should say, I think that's what a Mothman is, but the title is USPS employee reports 7-foot-tall red-eyed creature at O'Hare International Airport near Chicago, Illinois. Yeah. So I know what you're all thinking, well, it's by an airport, it's probably a plane, but that's not the case here. Apparently, on September 24th, a USPS sorting person left O'Hare Airport to go to her car at around 11 p.m., and she saw, with her headlights on, standing in front of her, a 7-foot-tall, red-eyed creature of some sort. And it was very fast. It had some fangs, I think. It was chirping, kind of like a bat. Like, that's why it says that this thing then started making some type of chirping sound, almost half chirp and half click. And I don't know if you guys know what bats sound like, but that's kind of what I pictured when I heard that. And then it flew off into the air above her, and she was screaming and crouched down behind some cars. And I'm not reading this thing word for word here, as I don't really have time for that, and I don't like reading too much. But yeah, man, so the witness is a 17-year-old veteran of the airport. Seems pretty logical. She's been there for a long time. And she saw that thing flying around her, red eyes, 7 foot tall. So if it was chirping, if it was moving like a human, clearly it's not going to be an airplane. Clearly it's not going to be a raccoon. And clearly it's not going to be any kind of aircraft whatsoever. So I'm going with Chicago has some weird things going on. I don't know if it's a Mothman. I don't know if it's a vampire, It's kind of crazy to think about what really could be out there when it comes like to monsters and stuff. Because I never really got into like Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster. I typically stick around like paranormal ghost stuff, and I dab in the alien stuff as well, because I definitely believe in aliens too. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Do you think that this USPS worker actually saw a 7-foot-tall winged red-eyed creature that chirped flying around the parking lot at the O'Hare Airport over in Chicago? Or is she crazy? Or did she see something else? I'm going to let you guys decide that, as I can't give you a direct answer. But like I said earlier in the show, we do have a very special guest tonight here. Tim King, again, he is the president of alleverythingentertainment.com. He is on several podcasts on the network, whether it be the Boardroom on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m., whether it be the Game-Winning Drive, whether it be Tyler's Take, whether it be regularly scheduled hostilities, which him and I are actually in a pretty big feud right now. That's going to climax here this Sunday at Hell in a Cell when we go head to head one last time. But with all that aside, man, let's just go ahead and bring him on the show. Mr. President of AEE, Mr. Tim King. How you doing tonight, brother?
Yo, what's up, brother? Thanks for having me on Paranormal Axetivities. First-time caller, long-time listener.
That's what I like to hear. Absolutely. Now, we have our own little feud going on right now over at the other podcast, RSH Wrestling. But tonight, we'll put that aside. That can be another time, another weekend. And let's get right down to the paranormals, man. I really appreciate you hanging out. I know we've been talking about ghosts here for quite a while. And I remember when I first met you back in right around March, you weren't a believer, and you still may not be. I don't know. But I know very specifically you were not a big believer in the paranormal. Is that correct?
That is correct. I'm not a big believer in the paranormal by any means. Now, I've seen some shit over the last 4 months, but I still don't know if I'm quite a believer. Now that makes me really nervous saying.
That's fair. Well, real quick, let's talk about you for a second. You are the head guy of alleverythingentertainment.com, which I hooked up with you right around March, and we threw Paranormal on there. I don't even know, maybe June or so. And it's been awesome. So tell us about yourself. Tell us about the website a little bit, and just what's going on over at AEE.
Yeah, man, we got you on board with Paranormal around June, got you and Josh on board with RSH in March. You guys have been vital and instrumental to our growth, so I appreciate everything that you do. Both of your shows are now all three of your shows are fantastic, dude. You can catch Chuck also on marital hostilities. Look at me botching it like you did. On Marital Nonsense Friday nights. Great show on the All Everything Entertainment Network. But yeah, man, we cover sports, wrestling, entertainment. So really whatever falls under that entertainment stratosphere we cover. We got shows like Paranormal Activities. We got shows like The Shit Show, a true crime podcast. We got shows like The Bonely podcast that covers news, but puts a funny comedic spin on what's going on. So the diversity that we have at All Everything Entertainment really sets us apart. We've had fantastic interviews with rock bands, former wrestlers, current wrestlers, and you've even had live paranormal searches, and you had the guy from the Travel Channel on the network. So, I mean, we've had big guests. We've been doing big things, and the sky's the limit. If you're not familiar, just go to Google, put in All Everything Entertainment. You'll find our website, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes. Please like, subscribe, follow, because you will be entertained.
Absolutely. And that's why I wanted to join you guys in the first place. We saw it, and I like entertainment, and whether it's scary, whether it's funny, whether it's drama, whatever the fact is, it's entertaining, and that's awesome. And that's why I'm super glad to be a part of it. Super glad to have, my little inputs here and there. It's fantastic. I love it so much.
Well, yeah, especially with Halloween time right now. You said horror stuff. We have a plethora of horror content. Josh just wrote a couple of different pieces, top 5 underrated, overrated horror movies, top 5 villains. You just put out the top, your Halloween movie rankings. Plus, there's a whole other, there's a shitload of horror movie content on the website right now. So obviously, if you're listening to this show, you're probably into that horror realm. So check us out.
Absolutely. This is the time, because it's going to be pretty much nonstop horror from the way it sounds going forward, including a live horror show this Saturday with, Josh. We'll both be hanging out doing some horror talk Saturday afternoon. So check it out. I think that's October 25th, I believe, something like that, whatever that date may be.
Yep, October 25th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
3 p.m.
I think.
3 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Central Time. Yes, sir.
All right, there we go. Awesome.
All right, man. So, ghost, paranormal. Let's get right into it. So, I know before you had your old house, you said you did not believe in the paranormal, and then you moved. And it was right around a week after you moved, you were like, Chuck, Ben, whatever your name may be, there's some stuff going down. So let's get right into it, man. So what started and how did it escalate? And just like tell us your stories here.
Yeah, man. So I moved into this house in July. As I said earlier, I was never really too big on believing in the paranormal life. I don't even really like watching it on TV that much. It kind of creeps me out. But I came to this new house, and I like to sit in the garage and, you know, hang out, enjoy the day, a beer, whatever. And, you know, my first week here, I'm just hearing a cat meow, 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 meow. And I'm like, okay, I do have a cat, but the cat doesn't meow like that. And the cat's like upstairs in the bedroom. So like, I'm not fucking hearing the cat right now. And I thought it was just crazy. I thought it was just my ears. And then, you know, like a week later, I go inside my house from the garage. There's a storage area where I keep, you know, my storage, and the door was open. And I'm like, why is this door open? And it's not like easily open. Like you have to open the door to open it. And, you know, just me and Melissa at home, she didn't open the door. So I was like, okay, cool. And then I've heard this cat like 5, 6 more times. Now, I did see a black cat come from around my house on the side of my yard out front one day. So while it's possible that it was that cat, I don't think that cat is just hanging around like every single time I'm outside.
That makes sense. So you're in your garage and you're hearing a cat. I know you told me about the cat, but I know you had cats. That's what I assumed it was. So it wasn't your cat meowing. It was something else.
Right. And with that door open inside, see, I feel, all right, so I'm facing the outside. To my left is the entrance into my house. And right to the right when you walk in is that little storage door. And I hear it. I hear the meowing coming from my left. It's not coming from the right. I don't feel like it's coming from outside. I feel like I'm hearing it from inside. So I like open the door and go see where my cat is. You know, cats are like quick; they can run away really quick. Sure. But like, I'll walk in and my cat's just like chilling with her head like in the banister, like "What's up, man?" And like it's not her. Like I know it's not her. So that I always found to creep me out. So I always wanted to get your opinion on, you know, the extraterrestrial life with animals. And it also so happened that my kid's cat, it was also my cat. Around the same time, he was with my ex. We had the cat for like 12 years. He passed away. And right after he died, I started hearing more of that meowing. So I was wondering if he could have came here to try to be with Honey again, because in the separation, the one cat came with me because it was pissing all over the house where I used to sit. So obviously it wanted to come with me.
Makes sense.
So I don't know, maybe he came and was trying to visit, but yeah, man, really, really crazy stuff. And then after that, I got a couple of door stories from around here too.
Ooh, that's what I'm excited to hear about. When it comes to the dead cat, you know, I've had cats my entire life. I personally have never had a ghostly cat or a ghostly pet experience, but I bring this podcast up quite a bit, I think. But I do listen to another podcast called Haunted AF, and they actually have a segment called Dead Pet of the Week because of the several stories they get from people who actually have ghost pet stories, just like that. A lot of cats, a lot of dogs, but I think mostly cats from what I can remember from the top of my head. So I could definitely believe that, you know, if the cat was that close to you or whatever, or close to Honey, right. Yeah, I could see that. I don't have any personal experiences, but other people do. So I could absolutely see that.
All right. So that's like the preview of what's to come next. All right. So as I'm sitting here right now in the garage, I'm looking at the doorknob to go into the house. It's a knob that you have to put your fingers in to turn the lock switch. Okay. So in order to lock this door, you'd have to physically close it and spin it. So one day I'm sitting out here in the garage and I go inside and the door's locked. Okay. All right. You know, whatever. Maybe I accidentally locked the door on my way out. So then I didn't really think anything of it. And then it happens about a week later, it locks me out again. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck, dude? There's no way I fat finger this again. So I take a look at the knob and I try like 25 different ways to close this purposely and lock it just like on accident. And there's no way in hell that I could do it on accident, like by just closing the door. You know what I mean? Like there's no way my hand could fat finger this and lock the door. So this has happened now about 4 or 5 times since I brought this key outside. All right, so I brought a key out to make sure I don't get locked out. Whoever was doing it stopped doing it, but someone was locking that door, and there's no one in my house locking it, and it wasn't me. So that, like, I'm not going to say it freaks me out, but that definitely had some eerie feelings for me.
That's fair. And one thing I got from this story was as soon as you started leaving a spare key in the garage, it stopped locking on its own.
Yes, it did. Absolutely. Yep.
And that could be, I mean, it could be just, your brain messing with you. You have a spare key out there now, so you're not worried about it, and it just happened to stop locking to get used to the house. Or there's something there messing with you, and as soon as you were able to protect yourself from it, it stopped just to maybe mess with you even more, or just got bored with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I just, as I said a couple of times now, as a non-believer, I just found that incredibly odd. Because there is no physical way, that I could lock this door on accident. Like, you have to lock the door. And there's no one else home. So who the fuck was locking the door?
Right.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, it can't be someone actually playing a trick on me because no one's here, just me. So that really, really trips me out. It really does. It hasn't happened in like a month and a half now, but I think it's because I got the key, dude. I'm telling you. I think that is because I have the key out here.
Yeah, that would make sense, man. So do you know any history of your house at all? Like, do you know how old it is, who lived there before you, anything like that at all?
I couldn't find anything on Google. Nothing. There was, like in 1975, I think there was a guy who got arrested for like child touching or some sick shit. But that was about it, dude. There wasn't nothing else. No one died. Or, I mean, at least, I couldn't find anything on the internet about anyone dying, but that doesn't mean nothing happened.
Right.
I think that I hear the cat, and it very well could be a person and their cat just fucking chilling in this house somewhere. And that's crazy to me, man.
I mean, it could be. That garage story is hilarious. I love that story, actually. It's because how you're not a believer, but you're like, Jesus Christ. How many times did that happen, do you think? The door lock on you?
Yeah, that happened about 5 times.
Damn. See, that's more than just a coincidence.
Right, dude. Right. That's what I'm saying. And there have been many, many times that I've walked in from the garage and that little door for the storage area is open. And I'm like, what the fuck? No one is opening this door. So like that too, the combination of that, like that definitely creeps me out a bit.
That's fair. I'd be creeped out too. Was it mostly during the day, or has it happened at night too at all?
It's never locked at night, only during the day. Well, no, actually it happened once at night. My kids were down here, but they're very lazy. There's no way that they're getting up to fuck with me, dude. So I'm like banging on the door, and like my daughter's like, what? And I'm like, you didn't come and lock the door? She's like, no, I didn't lock the door. I was like, Noah? He's like, no. And I was like, oh my God, I fucking knew it, dude. Yeah, I was watching a game out here. It was like 9:30 at night. So that just one time at night only.
And every time that has happened, have you been hanging out in the garage, or have you been coming in and out? Like, what were you doing during these times?
Oh yeah, definitely just hanging out in the garage, enjoying a nice stick of cannabis.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And what does your wife think about it? Has she had any experiences at all, or is it just you and the door?
She is a firm believer in this, and she won't talk about it. So I asked her if she wanted to come on with me, and she said absolutely not.
Oh.
So she is a believer, but she doesn't want to speak about it. So she doesn't want whatever's going on here to embrace us.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, let her know that if stuff does happen, it's not the show's fault, just so you guys know.
Well, dude, then the other day, which is why I wanted to come on here, I wasn't in the garage. I was upstairs, and then I came into the garage, and my water heater and my furnace are in the garage. There's a door you have to get into, and the door was open. That was when I messaged you and said I walked out with my machete. So I was like, what the fuck, dude? But it was more likely that it was paranormal life than a human, because there's no human walking in my garage. Like, that's not happening. So I was just like really fucking perturbed. And sure, maybe the wind could have blown it open, but I mean, come on, dude.
Right. My favorite part of that is you came out with a machete. I also have a machete by my bed, and my wife gives me shit for it. And
dude, yeah. And Melissa, and my mom won't let me own guns, so machetes my next best weapon. But again, you're not going to go fight the fucking paranormal off with a machete. But I brought it out just in case there's a human,
Hey, man, in Supernatural, I'm pretty sure Jensen Ackles has done it a few times. So if he can do it, I'll figure something out. Throw some salt on there or something.
Yeah, that's true. Great show.
It is. So only in the garage has stuff happened. Has anything ever happened inside the house directly or just on the garage?
No, it's just when I'm coming back in from the garage, like just this little area with this little storage area downstairs. That's where I hear the cat. And then the door in the garage that opened to the furnace room. And then like the door locking. And it's just this door. Like you can't. Like, I think I even sent you a video the one time of me trying to intentionally lock it. And I'm just like, yo, there is no fucking way you can intentionally lock this door. And
that's awesome.
Man, crazy, dude. So I don't know. I mean, there has to be something, right? Like there has to be.
5 times is a lot, especially when it seems to be pretty consistent. It's not just like randomly throughout the day and night. It seems like there's a certain routine to it, which in my mind leads me to believe that might be more paranormal than not. You know what I mean?
So like you think the guy could be coming home from paranormal work and walking back into his house, like, get the fuck out of my house, fat ass, and like going to chill in the storage and shit?
Or if it's just like, if it's happening when you're in your garage hanging out, if that's when it's happening, then something like that, maybe, he's just like, get the fuck out or stay the fuck in, or I don't know. But if there's a routine to it, I like routine stuff. I feel like that's more plausible than just random stuff. Means anything could be happening. You're not paying attention, whatever. But if there's a routine, if you're noticing a consistent action happening, that's not random. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. And I guess I take some solace in the fact that I think he likes me because he doesn't really fuck with me and he doesn't try to hurt me. So if anything, maybe we're keeping him company. Maybe he's trying to lock me in the garage to chill with him more. I mean, I don't know.
I dig that. I mean, if you got TV out there, then absolutely put on something. He's digging it.
Well, I'm always watching. I'm either watching a game on my phone or I'm listening to one of our 80 fucking podcasts right. on our All Everything Entertainment Network because like we have so many that I have to listen whenever I have free time.
That's fair. I don't know how you guys do it, man. I try to listen to my car, and that's basically the only time I have time to listen, and I can't even begin to keep up with all of our stuff. There's just too much. It is literally all everything. There's just too much. It's awesome.
25 plus different shows, and everything's weekly. So, I mean, we're popping out 25 plus shows a week. It's crazy. And
it's all quality, too. It's not just like people just like talking to a microphone for half an hour. Like people actually are good. It's all talent. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, we have cycled through the trash, I would say, and we have really, really good talent on our team. Absolutely, from the audio to the written quality on the website, just on both facets, just incredible talent.
Heck yeah, it's awesome to be a part of. So your garage doors, would you mind? You don't have to if you don't want to, but would you send me some pictures of that so I can attach it to the episode so the listeners can actually see?
Yeah, no, I will. I will, and I will show you the knob to where there's no way I can lock it on my own.
That's awesome. I would love that, man, to send that over whenever you get the chance, and I'll add it to the episode so people can actually see what we're talking about here. And for your wife, I think she should be known that. Well, first of all, she has awesome articles on the website as well now. She's written about the Bachelorette, and like a few other. That's one off the top of my head. That's all I remember, but I know there are more.
Yeah, she's all about that trash TV life. So she's like, I think I'm going to start writing reality TV. And I'm like, that's a great idea. So she's doing a fucking awesome job with that.
That is fantastic. Heck yeah. And she should rest easy knowing that if it is paranormal, it sounds like it's in the garage, not the house. So nothing to worry about. Rest easy, man.
Yeah, I'll let her know. Or she'll probably hear it for herself when she listens because she listens every week with me. So we'll definitely be listening back later into the rest of the episode for sure. But yeah, she'll definitely take solace and comfort in knowing that it's probably not in the house.
That's good to know. I'm sorry, I keep saying wife. It's fiance. I don't know why I always keep doing that.
Whatever. I've been shacked up with her long enough.
Oh, fair enough. All right, brother, man. Hey, I appreciate all of your stories, man. That they were good, and I really like the cat's actually really creepy. And I've heard from other people that the cat stuff. When I had a cat for 15 years, nothing. And all these other people are telling me their cat stories, man. I'm getting a little jealous of these dead cats.
Scary, but kind of comforting at the same time if it's actually your cat.
That's fair. That's a good point. All right, man. Well, I do appreciate you being on the show, and keep kicking ass over at AEE. Everybody, be sure to check out Tim over at AEE. And how do we find you on social media? And what are you writing about, man?
Yeah, just Twitter, AEE.com or AEE Tim King, and myself. I'm always writing wrestling. Big wrestling guy, helping Tyler Peters just dominate the WWE beat in AEW. So you can find my articles on alleverythingentertainment.com, and hit me up on social, AEE Tim King.
All right, brother. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you, and I will catch you here very shortly, man. Have a great night.
Yo, thanks for having me, man. Greatly appreciate it. Keep doing you.
No, thank you, man. Thanks for being on. I appreciate you, brother.
Take care, man.
All right, guys. Like I said, that was Tim, president of AE. Always a pleasure to hang out with that guy and just, bullshit about whatever. We have a lot of stuff in common, so it's always good. And I hope that you guys, or I hope that we, I guess, as a paranormal group, kind of convinced him that there is some stuff out there. Whether or not his garage is haunted, it very well could be. But, he does listen to the show, so hopefully that we can all kind of come together here. And I'm not trying to make non-believers believers, but it is kind of nice to not be, not taken seriously, I guess. So, always a pleasure to talk to Tim, man. Again, thanks for coming on the show. Be sure to check out Tim on all his social media accounts. Be sure to check out all the articles he writes on AEE, and even the articles that he does not write, he is editing and going through and making sure they are worthy to be on the internet. So that dude puts in countless hours, and I don't understand how he does it because I need way more sleep than that guy gets. But, man, props to him. And I hope you all enjoyed his interview there regarding his new house over in Chicago. And he's also a new father, so congrats to him for that as well. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and wrap up our show here, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. I believe I'm going live again next week, right before Halloween, which should be good. I have a pretty cool guest lined up. You've all seen him on the network, actually. I'll give you his name once it's all finalized. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed it. We do have a lot of stuff coming up on the website here. This Saturday, I will be going live at 3 p.m. Eastern Time with Josh DeBoer from RSH to talk about all thing horror movies. That should be a good time. Come join us live. You can live chat, comment, whatever. And the same thing on Sunday, which is the next day, at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am hooking up with the host of the Haddonfield Report to talk about all things Halloween movies, Michael Myers and that kind of stuff. I'm also super looking forward to that as well. And again, if you have any questions for me, if you want to get on the show, if you want to tell me your ghost story, whatever it may be sure to email me at paranormalaxepodcast@gmail.com. Again, that is paranormalaxepodcast@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all of the social media platforms that there is to follow. And be sure to just go to all of my links, whether it be at AEE, whether it be at Apple, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to go there, subscribe, leave awesome positive reviews, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody that this is the paranormal podcast that you need to listen to. So guys, hope you all enjoyed the show, and I'm sure I'm forgetting to say stuff. But like we said earlier, AEE does have some awesome podcasts. So there's a newer show on there called the Shit Show Podcast, or The Shit Show, a true crime podcast. Basically, they just get kind of dive deep into some true crime stories from back in the day. It's really super interesting, and can't wait to let's catch up on all of those episodes. Sports, we got you covered on sports, man. Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, all of the sports, whether it be, like I said earlier, the boardroom, game-winning drive, between the pipes every Friday night regarding hockey. And there's just so many more, guys. So go check all of the shows out. And at the end of the day, man, let's just keep learning about the paranormal together.